Do you like our new bookcase? We made this. Goes all the way up, all the way to the floor. I say we, my other half made it. Doesn't it look good? Let's just turn him back around. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. As you can see, we are in front of a new space. We are in front of my new bookcase and I wanted to show you some of the book bargains I have purchased in the last month or so, I believe. That's why there's some gaps, because I've just taken them out so then I can grab them and show you guys what I purchased and how much I spent on them as well. So the books on these shelves are the books that are my to be read shelf. The books I have fully read are on my other bookcase. Now, unlike a lot of book lovers out there, I don't have a library's worth full of books. I only have about 120 books. I say only, for a lot of people that is a lot of books, but in the book world, it's a very minute amount, so I don't actually have a lot, but that means I can purchase a lot to fill up these spaces. And actually this shelf here are not my books, they're my other halves of his to be read. But as I'm reading them, I'm putting them on my other bookcase, and then once that gets full, I'll probably swap them around, and then this will be my read bookcase and my other one will be my TBR bookcase, because I like to be organised. I like to see what I've read and what I have yet to read. I find it really helps to go towards a book goal. So if you are like me, I'm trying to read 50 books this year. I think having this visually available for me to just grab one and go with it is very handy than trying to look through all of my books and figure out, right, have I read that one, have I not? Just separating them makes sense to me. But anyway, I digress. Let's go to the point of this video. So over the last month, I have purchased 11 books, 10 books, 10 or 11 books, I can't remember, from various places. So car boot in the UK, you know what that is. If you are not from the UK, it's kind of like a yard sale, but instead of going to people's houses, everyone goes to one field and then you go to their cars and purchase things, if you don't know what a car boot is. Vinted and secondhand bookshop and then charity shop. So 4 different areas, and I wanted to show you what I purchased. Now I'm going to start with the car boot because I got so incredibly lucky at one person's stall. We walked around the whole car boot field, but there was only one person that was actually selling books that were of any interest to myself, and I scored hard here, and I'm so happy that I found her because first, as you can see here, if you know these books, these are the Morganville Vampires. Now this is book 11 and 12, books 11 and 12. I didn't have the rest. I needed 13, 14 and 15. And I really, really love this series. I haven't read it in a very long time, so there's a possibility I might have to go back and read some, or at least go on Goodreads and just get a bit of a refresh on the previous book so I can remind myself where I was with the story, because I don't know if I want to read all 10 again just to read the last 5. It's quite a lot. But yeah, so I needed the last 3, and I was really lucky because at the car boot, oh, I've got them in the wrong order, I managed to get books 13, 14 and 15. And I actually managed to get them in really good condition. Now, they've got obviously a bit of spine damage from being read. Bitter Blood's probably the worst one out of all 3, but they're really not that bad. Overall though, the condition of the sides, the edges are really good. There's no scratches or anything on them. Basically, I looked out. Now, when I was at this person's stall, I couldn't remember what books I had. I was like, do I need number 12? I knew I had 11, and I was like, do I need number 12? And I really couldn't remember. Unfortunately, she didn't have 12 left. It looked like people had just picked up odd ones. She had most of the series, but not all of it. And I was like, oh, I really hope I don't need it. I'll buy the last 3 and then we'll go from there. If I need to buy number 12, I'll just buy it. It's not a problem. Lo and behold, I came home and found out that I did have 12. So yay! So I got the right ones. I got the ones I needed. And these were only 20p each. 20p each. 60p for 3 books that should have cost me $7.99 each. So really looked out there, and I'm all about trying to, if I can, buy secondhand as much as possible. I've been scouring all sort of, like, say, secondhand shops and charity shops for all the books that I like. It's very hard to find the ones that I do like, but when I do, I am definitely purchasing them. I couldn't say no, and I really needed to finish this series, so I'm glad I found those. Okay, so pop those where they belong. So in the same bookstore, it wasn't a bookstore, the same person, I also, now these have been on my TBR for maybe a year. I tend to add things to my TBR and then can't remember why. And these were some of those books, but I know I'm going to enjoy them. It is this series. I actually don't know the name of the series. I really should, shouldn't I? Does it tell you? Is it? I have no idea. See, this is how bad it is. I just see them and I just buy them. But it's the series by Maggie Stiefvater. Oh, I swear I keep butchering that name. I'm so sorry. But Shivalinga and Forever. Pretty sure it's about werewolves, I believe. And I'm pretty sure it's a YA series. So I thought I'd get them. Again, I couldn't say no. The 20p each, I managed to get the whole lot. I mean, is it a book? Is it like just 3 books in this series? I'm not sure. But anyway, I got the first 3, if it's not. As I say, I really don't know. I'm not very good at this, remembering what book series and how many there are. I'm getting better, but I'm not the best. And yeah, so I bought these again, 20p each. So that was what, £1.20 for 6 books. Again, I couldn't say no, couldn't walk past them. Again, a few little bends in the spine, little creases there. But the quality of the books, it's just discoloration of the edges there, which happens when you've had books for a long time. I know I have books that I bought brand new that are now getting a bit like this. Just can't be helped. And again, these should have been that one should have been $6.99, $7.99, $7.99. I got lucky that day. So I can't wait to read these. So I'm going to pop these back up. Shaboom. Filling up these spaces now, aren't I? And then lastly, from that same person, I got this book. Now, I have no idea about this one at all. At least these ones I knew about before I picked them up. This one I have no clue. But since I picked it up, I have been seeing it in a lot of shops. Now, I went to Seattle a couple of weeks ago, and I actually saw this one a lot while I was out there in the bookshops I was visiting. So I was like, oh, okay, so it must be quite a popular book. It must be not too old, I don't think. I'm not sure. But it's The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millward Hargrave. I thought I'd give it a go. Nice little book as well. So I think I've mentioned it many times in my other videos. But again, when you're reading series, sometimes you need a bit of a break, and I think these individual standalone books that are quite small are very handy for that. This gives you a bit of a break. Even if you're loving a series, I think sometimes you need to mentally just go, oh, step back and just take it all in, what you've just read, before you then go on to the next book. I know sometimes I need to do that. So these sort of books do give me that small break. But I think I've kind of heard that it's good. Again, I don't know what it's about, but I'm excited to try it and read it. One thing I did like about this book is that it has sort of little pictures, little diagrams. It's just little shapes all on the edges. I thought that was quite nice. So again, this was just 20p. I scored that day. I really need to go back to that car boot and see if I can score another haul of books. So 20p, again, I'm going to keep saying it. I'll try and put a total a total somewhere on the screen for you as I keep pulling these books out. But yeah, let me know if you like this one, if you've read it, and if it's any good, because I'll be interested to see. It might be one of my next books to read as a break filler book. I'm going to call them break fillers, because currently I'm reading The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea as a filler for while I'm reading the Carissa Broadbent series that I can't remember what it's called, the War of Lost Souls series, I believe. I can't remember, but that series, the War of something. So yeah, reading that book. This is going to be another filler for me. Now, the next book I purchased while I was in Seattle at Pike Place Market. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. At one of the secondhand shops within the market. We went to, I think we went through all of them. We was walking around a long time looking at all the bookshops. And again, I think when you go to secondhand books now, I'm very particular on what I read. And a lot of the books I read, whoever reads them also really loves them, so therefore they don't tend to be taken to charity shops or donated like to secondhand bookshops, which is very unfortunate because then it means it makes it very difficult for me to purchase secondhand, whereas I do like to try as best as I can to buy secondhand. But I went into this one shop, looked around. My other half, because he likes to read people like Terry Goodkind, Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett, things like that. There was a lot of those sort of authors, so he was fine. He purchased quite a few actually. Some of these down here he purchased while I was on holiday. I couldn't find anything, so we left this shop, and as we was walking past the window, I stopped because something caught my eye, and it was one book that I have had on my TBR again for probably about half a year, and I was so happy to find it, and it was Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. I keep seeing things about this and I was like, I need it. I am a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan. So is my sister, so she might be borrowing this after me. Maybe, I'm not sure. Otherwise I might get her one. I don't know. She might be lucky if she's watching. So yes, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. Hardback as well, which I thought was really nice. I do like a hardback. But as we all know, hardbacks do cost a little bit more, so sometimes it's a bit hard to purchase one. So I was happy that it was in hardback. Really good condition as well. Actually, it looks brand new. Just looks like people have just been picking it up to have a look at it. Now, in terms of UK book prices, this wasn't cheap. It is cheap, but not cheap. It was $9.95, whereas normally it is $18.99. So it's cheap in sense for the US. I'm not actually sure how much this would have been in the UK, but I really wanted to come home with at least one book on my trip. So when I found this, I was like, this is going to be the one. And again, this is going to be a really good break filler book. It's not too big. I'm pretty sure the writing's quite big and spaced out, so it will be a very quick read. This I might save for Halloween, actually, as my Halloween read. I do have Jingle, is it Jingle? No, Tinsel, sorry, for my Christmas read this year. I did get that for Christmas last year, but I didn't get a chance to read it before Christmas was over. So I've saved it for this year, and I'm happy that I've got this one that I can read for the Halloween season. So Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. Can't wait to read that one. Now, the next one, I've only got 3 left. I purchased from a charity shop near my house. Really looked out on this one. I was looking, they didn't have much, but it took me a long time to spot this. Mostly because there was this gentleman that was looking at records that were next to the books, but not completely next to him. And he was stood right in front of all the books, and I couldn't get around him. So I had to wait for a long time. I don't know why I just didn't use my words and say excuse me, but he looked really in depth, so I didn't want to bother him. But it is the next book in the Immortal series by Alison Noel. I've got the first one here, Evermore, and the next one I got was Blue Moon. Now this was 50p. I've had Evermore on my TBR for probably a decade, if not more. That's really bad, isn't it? I'm sure I can't be the only one. So naturally, I buy the second book because that's what I do. I can't have a book series without the whole set. Saying that though, there is one series I can't bring myself to finish, and that is the Outlander series. The books, every time a new one comes out, they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm getting very overwhelmed by it. So unfortunately, they are going to be a DNF for me. I love the story, but I just can't do it anymore. But anyway, we'll go back to this one. I bought the second book. I'm not sure what the third one is called. I can't remember. But this was probably the worst in condition out of all the books I purchased. Only being that it's got some more sort of colour discoloration all on the edges there. The book itself is fine. There's no edits inside. There's no bendings. Oh, there's a bit of corner bend there. But it's not too bad, 50p. It all goes to a good cause as well. I think I got this from the British Heart Foundation. Pretty sure it was. So happy with that one. I can get the next one and then eventually read these. Again, these could be good filler books. I'm not sure. We'll see. I can't actually remember what this is about because it's been so long. So, like I say, since so long since I've even looked at what this one's about. And this one I did buy brand new, and I know I haven't. I mean, I am always very careful with my spine breaking, but I'm pretty sure when I bought this book I wasn't too fussed about breaking the spine, but now I am. And it's not broken, and it doesn't look red at all. It still looks brand new. So Blue Moon, To Follow Evermore, got that one, 50p. And lastly, I got these two books from Vinted. If you've watched one of my previous videos, you know I like a Vinted haul. These books cost just under £12, I believe, for the books and delivery, and then the protection thing that they put on there as well. And I don't think these have been read because the spines are in perfect condition. There's a little bit of sort of a tear on the front of the first book, but other than that, they are amazing. Now, it is the Elizabeth Lim series. Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk. Oh, I have had these on my TBR probably for 6 months. So this is the Blood of Stars series. Actually, there is a little bit of damage here, but I think that's just from putting them in the shelves and taking them out. I couldn't resist. The covers, I know you shouldn't judge a book by a cover, but I honestly do that because if you've got a really pretty cover, I'm going to go and have a look. Because I guess I am quite a visual person. If you look nice, I want to investigate, and these did. But I have, as I say, had these on my TBR list for a little while. So when I saw them, I had to get them. They're just stunning, aren't they? I can't get over how beautiful these covers are. I'm currently reading The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. Let me just go grab that one for you. Now, this book I didn't know anything about. It literally was the book cover that drew me in, and so far I only just started reading it and I'm almost halfway through. I'm loving it. It's great. It's again a nice break, this one, for the series that I'm reading. And it's just stunning, and I'm really enjoying sort of the Asian mythology style fantasy books, and it's evidence that these are as well with the style of buildings on the front there. So I had to get them. They were just so pretty. I can't remember, I don't know what sort of mythology or type thing these are. I'm so sorry, but they are, God, they're just so pretty. I just wish the sides, they're stunning, but when you then look at the covers, you're like, oh, boring, and then boring, and then so yeah, I got these. As I say, I can't remember what just the books were before delivery. I will add the totals, as I say, at the top when I find them all. So yeah, I managed to get, how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books for, I'm pretty sure, less than £25. As I say, I'll have the total, so we'll find out if I'm wrong or not. You can't grumble at that. You just have to, it's luck of the draw. As I say, I'm very picky on what I read, and I know a lot of people, when they do secondhand bookshops and charity shop hauls, they tend to have a lot more bought than I did, but that's because I'm very picky on what I like to read. I am trying to go a little bit out of my comfort zone, so very much into fantasy romance. So I do have, like, say, Jingo. Why do I keep calling it Jingo? I've got Tinsel here. I've got Gone Girl, Princess Bride. I know there's still some fantasy elements that I'm saying here, but they're not sort of on my genre, like vampires, fae, werewolves. Usually on my go-to, but I'm trying to branch out. I did read the Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior. Really loved those, which inspired me to look further into these books. And then the Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. So I thought I'd give them a go. So please let me know if you've read any of these books that I've shown you today. Do let me know about The Girl of Ink and Stars if you've read that one, if it's any good. Another one that I did purchase, but this wasn't in the last month, was Chaos and Flame. Again, I was drawn into the book cover. Also, how bendy it is. I love a bendy book. So maybe this one as well. If you've read this book, it's by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland. If you think this one's any good, do let me know. Give me some star ratings out of 5 on all of the books I mentioned today. Maybe not necessarily the Morganville Vampires, because as I say, I have read the previous books, so I know what that's sort of about. But let me know if you like them, because I'm intrigued, and it'll maybe give me a little bit of an expectation. Who knows? I mean, I have read some books that didn't get great ratings and I actually loved them, so who knows? Not me, until I read them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a nice little book haul for you there. There is going to be another one probably coming quite soon, but it is my birthday in just over a week. Oh no. Oh my gosh, probably a week when I upload this. Oh gosh, there will be some more books purchased for that. So I will probably do another haul if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky to find some more books that are on my TBR to just add to my already growing TBR list. So please like, comment and subscribe if you are new. It will really help me out. I'm trying to bring out a lot more of these videos for you. Trying to get a bit more aesthetically pleasing as well. It's very hard. I know a lot of people that do this sort of booktube are very good. I'm learning, I'm getting there. So until the next video, enjoy reading guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.